Hey everyone, this is Daniel Oliver from Nothing More, and you're watching CMS TV.
And I, of course, am Chris Akin, and today on the show, we are going to be talking to one of the great bands that's out there that a lot of people, after unbelievable amount of years, still don't know are out there. I love them. The radio seems to love them, but for some reason, they're just not known as well as a lot of the other bands, and I don't get why. The band, of course, is Nothing More. They have a brand new release out on June the 28th called CARNAL, and here to talk all about it is the bass player of the band, Mr. Daniel Oliver. Daniel, how are you, man?
I'm fantastic. Glad to be here.
Well, it's good to have you, man. I'm going to start with where I was going in the intro. You know, just getting ready for the interview. I was listening to the record and, you know, doing a little reading, and I go to Wiki, and it says that you guys are at the 22-year mark since the band started, and you've been with the band for 19 years or something.
Yeah.
That doesn't even seem possible, does it?
No. We must be in a simulation. But yeah, it's wild to me for sure.
I'll tell you why it's weird, because a lot of people still call you guys, and I've read a bunch of articles, a new band. And it's like, how can you be a new band at the 20-year mark? That just doesn't seem feasible.
I know. I don't get it. I mean, we're new compared to, say, Shinedown, I guess, or like
Right.
Breaking Benjamin, but not really new. You know, I've been in the band since '05. You know, we did put 10 years in the underground without a label, just doing the regional thing, and then it's been almost, another 10 years doing it on the other side of it, with a label and a booking agent and touring worldwide and all that. So, but yeah, we're not an arena band yet. Maybe that's what it takes to no longer be a new band.
Right.
But we're still cranking. We're still growing, and we haven't lost the spark at all when it comes to pushing ourselves to make new music and evolve. So yeah, we're all still pumped about the band, and that's the main thing. So
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if anything, Carnal, the new album, definitely shares that. You guys explored some new directions, which is really fantastic to see for a band that's having success. To kind of challenge that success a little bit is exciting to me as just as a music fan. But why don't we start there, man? Tell us a little bit about Carnal. I know one thing, it comes awful quick on the back of the last album.
Yeah. With us, it's kind of funny with the writing. Like sometimes it comes pretty easy and quickly. Like the stories we tell ourselves, I think we were able to write and record that in a little over a year, and that was self-produced too, which adds a lot of time to it. Then you have Spirits that took 4 years,
right.
And then this one, we just, we know that we need to just keep the momentum going. And after Spirits took so long, we just kind of wanted to switch directions. We went with an outside producer, Drew Folk. That was something that's new to us, because pretty much everything anybody's heard from us, other than this record, has been us making it, doing the majority of it just in our home studios kind of thing. But yeah, Drew turned out to be he's like the fifth member of the band kind of feeling, like similar background as us, always saw eye to eye. Really, we always felt like we were on the same team, and he in no way made us feel like we had to rush through this record at all either. That was I think a big fear with going with a producer. But
sure,
yeah, man, we are pumped to have an album out so quickly after Spirits, and that's kind of the plan now. Is we're hoping. We used to really separate the writing with touring. Like when we're on cycle touring, we're just touring and not doing anything else. But in the past, we definitely had to tour a lot more, trying to get our name out there. So now the plan really is to just constantly be writing, constantly be touring, and then hopefully every 2 years, have a same caliber record out. So yeah, we're
Right
pumped.
on. Well, let me go back to Drew for a minute. I mean, you guys, like you said, you've been self-produced for most of your career. What was it that you guys felt was missing or was needed? I guess needed is probably a better word. What was needed that you guys felt you weren't delivering yourselves previously?
Yeah, it really was when you're making an album, there's thousands of decisions to be made, like on every part of the music. And those are decisions that we would make, and a lot of them were, what's the word? Like democratic. It just kind of turned into a slower process for us. And we wanted to see what it would be like to go with someone whose literal job it is to watch over all the music. And it's not that they're making all the decisions, but they're that immediate outside ear to put the filter through.
Right.
So really, we never felt like our albums lacked anything. Like, we got to spend so much time on tones, and there were really a lot of cool like musical parts, especially coming at it from the bass as a bass player. Like, when you hear bass on an album, most of the times it's just a bass guitar, doing his lines kind of thing. But if you were to solo the bass on the Spirits record, there's like whole soundscapes that I was making with Mark, and we got to do a lot of cool stuff like that. So we never felt like anything was lacking. We just wanted to lighten the load on us a little bit, and just really kind of move things quicker. And it really, like, every time you work with someone outside of the band, there's just always a ton to learn and glean about songwriting and really learn about the band too, and people's perception of it. And I don't know, there's just a lot to learn. So that was kind of the motivation.
Is it comfortable for you guys to kind of take guidance from somebody when you've really crafted pretty much everything in your career yourselves? It's got to be hard to say, hey, wait a minute, I did 20 years in this band. I know what it should sound like.
Yeah, there are definitely moments like that. One of the things that I think helped us grow immensely a long time ago, when we were just kids, was it was right after I joined. We ran across this band, South FM. They had the song, what was their song? Anyway, I'm totally spacing on it. Okay. But their lead singer, Paco Estrada, we loved their group. And he kind of took us under his wing. And when we were going to make the first full-length record I was a part of after we joined, we brought him down and showed him all the songs for about a week. And man, he just ripped our heart out in those sessions,
Right.
Like what's happening in this chorus? Like, oh, this bridge makes no sense. Like, why are you going here? And it's like, man, that's my favorite part, man. That's my favorite. So we learned a long time ago that really the path to success is to have that honest criticism. Like, it's just monumental. And once you get over the initial shock that not everything you do is great, you find that you make better things after. So it's just a part of the refinement. And that's the first thing I tell any band that's like, how do we get to where you are? We're a garage band. It's like, man, just find a songwriter, a band, someone you trust, and let them be completely honest with your music, and maybe even let them help you fix it, and see how you like it. Just see if you, at the end of the day, we never did anything. We never made a song worse in our heads.
Right.
It was never like, the song was better before, but this is going to make us popular. Like, you can't do that. Like, that's bullshit. That's stupid too.
Right.
But, so yeah, and that I feel like is how you find yourself, because your music, to do it professionally, it's the merger of art and commerce. And you're not just making music for yourself, but you 100% are making music for yourself still. So you got to make it what's going to be best for you and for everyone. So, yeah.
Right on. Well, I don't want to dwell on production because I do want to get into the record, but I did want to mention at least the sound on this record is phenomenal. Whoever mixed it did a fantastic job, because my God, does it jump in a car and in the headphones and even on like a little speaker. It's got some huge sound to it.
Yeah. That was Zach Cervini. He's Zach Cervini and Drew. They both mixed different songs, and I totally agree. Like, I was always in love with our mixes before because you could really hear everything. But hearing this, it's just, you're right. There's something just kind of explosive about it. And that's really cool to me. So,
Amen. Well, let's dig into the record, Daniel.
yeah.
Now, you're aware, as we're all aware, we're in the singles age, where a lot of bands are releasing singles or maybe an EP at most. And here you guys come with a very long record. I mean, just a lot of songs. Why so many? And did you guys even consider maybe cutting it in half or releasing some of it as singles and some of it as like a 10-song album?
Yeah, we've always been, there's always been some kind of pressure to do singles and to do EPs. And really our feeling about it is just that we've come across EPs that we love, and God, we just wish they were longer.
Right.
So it's like if we're going into this, and again, typically before we would have much more of a, we're not touring right now, we're writing a record. It's like, let's go all the way and make it exactly how we want it. So, and then, when this record came about, every record before has had these cool instrumentals. We're really in love with like the instrumental stuff too, and adding that philosopher Alan Watts to them. So yeah, I think we came up with really 3 cool separate pieces of music that aren't quote unquote typical songs as well. So yeah, hope everyone still loves the big records, because we're still doing them.
Yeah, you guys are. 15 songs is like I mean, that's 3 records for a lot of bands these days. And I know when I first, I'll just tell you a quick story. When I was first listening to it, I get the the link that they send out or whatever, and a lot of times I just tend to just turn it on and just it plays, and then if it moves me, then I'm like, oh, let me hit the publicist and see if we can't chat about this.
Yeah.
This thing just kept playing and playing and playing. I was like, wow, how long is this? I didn't even look. I just kind of hit play on it. I was like, wow, there's a lot here. But it's great. I mean, it's a lot that's there, but there's really not any filler to it. I mean, it's like if you were to release 15 singles, you would have 15 quality singles off of CARNAL, which is probably the best compliment I can give you guys.
Yeah, thanks. We really, this album especially, I feel like every song has a great identity. It's something different than the song before, and it has its own kind of little universe. So, I really appreciate that. That's pretty much the highest praise you could give. So, thank you.
Sure. Well, let's talk about a couple of the songs. I'll start with If It Doesn't Hurt. Easily, in my opinion, the most catchy song you guys have ever done. It just, it's that bubblegum to the hair sound. It just gets in there and it sticks and you can't get it out of your head. Talk a little bit about this song and specifically about the instrumental writing of it, because to me anyway, the instrumentation is as much of the hook as any lyrical piece to that song. Yeah.
That song's kind of interesting. It's a little bit different than the rest of the songs on the record, because that was kind of this test track that really like Johnny just started working on with Drew himself, just to go meet him. He was just flying out to meet him. They ended up kind of making like a demo of that, and it was like, holy crap, like you did in a day, like you just kind of came up with that. And then we took it from there as a group and finished the lyric writing and the rest of the tune. But that's I don't know, I love that song. It was very different than it showed that this album was going to be a very different album than the Spirits record, and really like one of the things we had talked about was we wanted to make this record less of an odyssey and more of just like a fastball down the middle. Like everything we got, like let's make bangers. Like take what we know about riff writing and let's not make a 6-minute riff. Let's just core it to that, like that perfect thing. So it's cool to hear that it has connected so well.
Absolutely.
And really, like with the lyric content, it's been amazing talking to fans and doing VIPs since that song's come out, and just how much that has resonated with people. So it's like half of everyone in the VIP, it's like, oh, I've been in a toxic relationship and I just that I needed to get out. Like, this just hits home, you know, like, and yeah, for us, this song, the perspective lyrically is just kind of one of those, like, when is it a toxic relationship? You know, like, every relationship has compromise and things like that, but and there's hurt involved in any relationship. You have to be vulnerable and stuff like that. But when is it too much, and when is it no longer moving in a productive direction? So, yeah, kind of crazy to hear that. It's like almost everyone's been there.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. Now the other tune I want to talk about is probably the one that you're getting the most questions about, I'd imagine, which is Angel Song. You know, obviously David Draiman appearing on it, and he's more active, I think, than he was back in the day, like the early days of Disturbed. It seems like he's everywhere these days. With that song, talk a little bit about that song, and was it specifically written for his voice, or did you guys hear the song and somebody heard it and then reached out to him and said, hey, we'd love you to sing on this song?
Yeah, it kind of went in that direction, you know. We wrote that song out in LA, and really, like, it just started with a 4 on the floor drum beat, and I can't remember if it was me or Mark that just had that da 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 da, but it was like instantly there was this energy, and like 5 seconds later, Johnny, I think he was halfway joking, you know, he's like, I'm gonna get Robert Plant all over this, you know, and he comes in with that intro vocal, and it's like, man, like, okay, this is moving, you know, like, it's simple, but like there's just such a great energy to it. And yeah, that was a song, you know, when to reference Led Zeppelin again, you know, I think there's that rumor that they wrote Stairway to Heaven in like 15 minutes.
Right.
And this was kind of like that for us. Like, it was just hitting that day, and every decision we made seemed to be the right move to go. And I love when that happens. Like, the energy you hear is just the energy we felt when that song like came into the world. It didn't take 10 rewrites or anything like that. And then, yeah, we had finished it. It stayed in demo form for a little bit. We were in Europe for festivals last year, and got to play a couple shows with Disturbed, and actually with I Prevail too. And that was where we met I Prevail, and really got to like spend time with them for the first time. And so, yeah, both those groups were just fresh on our brain. And Drew produced Disturbed's last record, so it's like, man, I think Draiman's voice would be like, it has that like epic, timeless, let's march to war kind of feeling. So we reached out to him, and he was pumped to do it, and even, you know, signed up to do the music video too, which is never fun. And yeah, and we're eternally grateful to, you know, have done a song with him. So
right on, man. Well, dude, I gotta ask you about you, Johnny, and Mark specifically. You guys have been together 20 years. I mean, you're kind of you're the core, basically, of the band. What is the secret that you three have to not imploding as brothers, you know, and fighting your way into breaking up, man? How have you been able? 20 is a long number, you know. I mean, I hate to say that, but 20 is a long number for any kind of a relationship, specifically a business relationship / friendship. What is it that you guys have been able to do to keep from, you know, the bad stuff creeping in? Do you just get away from each other for a while, or just the opposite, or what?
Yeah, there is a lot of getting away from each other. You know, it is interesting. Like, it is a blend of a professional and working relationship. I mean, a working and just like a friendship for sure, you know? And I think really like being able to fight is the key. Okay. You know, like you can't I guess over the years, like, we've never had a fight that like legitimately made us never want to be around each other. Okay. So, and I think the fighting keeps you from having resentment. And, you know, every fight we've ever been in, at least like the next day, there's been some sort of like, my bad, dude. Like, I don't really, like, let's talk about this. Like, there is this, but I shouldn't have brought it up in that way. Cause, you know, when you're touring, that's a pressure cooker. Oh yeah. You get to we were at the end of like a 3-month tour, and we've all been in like just knockdown, drag out fights with each other, just screaming at each other, drunk or whatever. But it is like that next day, like, dude, I'm sorry. There's a lot going on in my life that, you were the tipping point and you didn't deserve that. But, yeah, it's crazy. It is like a marriage, and it does take like a lot of that kind of attention. And I don't know. I think at the end of the day, if we didn't love the project so much too, there was always our love for the band and our love for music always kind of led the way.
Right.
And as hard as it can get, it would be much harder to lose what you love, like the band, over stupid reasons with the other person, with just another member in it. But man, I guarantee, though, a band greater than the Beatles has probably gotten together and just fell apart because they hated each other.
Yeah, probably true.
Like, that aspect is such a big deal, especially when it comes to writing. I've met some groups where you can just tell that like one member doesn't like certain other members like writing, and people get excluded in that way. And our mentality's always been the opposite. Like we all kind of have different skill sets within the when it comes to the writing, and we encourage each other to just like give all you got. Like it's no matter what, better when we're all participating. And sometimes you lead the way with your parts in the song. Sometimes you might not have much to say on the topic, but we all need to be full guns blazing, and we'll share it. And yeah, so there's something to that too. We really try to be egalitarian with each other, right? And call each other out when it doesn't feel like it's that way, when someone's not putting in or whatever. And there's really, I don't even think that's ever happened, but that's just kind of the idea.
Right on. Definitely. I wanted to ask you too real quick about the Grammy nomination. And I want to preface this by saying I'm not asking from a business side of it. I'm asking just on a personal level. When you get nominated for a Grammy, is that a good thing for you guys personally as a band, or right. Do you guys collectively hate it because now you have to win one? Like, do you take it as an award, or do you take it as, well, shit, we didn't win, we got to do better, like almost a competitive thing?
I know. Why was that thought even introduced into our universe, kind of thing?
Right.
Like, oh, we could win a Grammy? Yeah, I'd like to say that it brought on like the Grammy flu for me. Okay. Because there was so much hysteria around the thing. It's like you got 3 nominations. Like there's a good chance you're coming away with one. And especially at that point in our career, that was the farthest thing on our radar. Right. It's like Grammys, whatever. Like, do they even do rock and roll music at the Grammys? I don't know. So yeah, I can't say if it was a good thing or a bad thing. I would say it's a good thing, but the best part of it was, for those 10 years in the underground, like we had to look at all of our parents and just be like, I make no money. And there's no change in sight of that happening. I've dedicated my life to this thing to just see it through, and I'm not done yet. So for them to see all that hard work we put in and all the sacrifice, and to it lead to what is heralded as, there's not really an award you can give to music because it's art, but right. But if there is one, that is the highest accolade. So I think it was cool to see all of them, like all the people, because a band isn't just a band, a band, like there's a good, one of my best friends, his name's Brian Bentley. Shout out to Bentley if he's listening to this, but he let us, many of us lived in his house for years, and he let us practice at his house for years. Like, he taught me how to weld and let me build like all the scorpion tail stuff in his garage. Like when you start out on the adventure, like there are a lot of people to thank that you would not have gotten where you are without them, kind of thing, or it would have been a lot harder. And same thing with parents, they put up with loud music in their houses for years, decades of their lives, and to see that come into something like a Grammy, I think is really special. So
Right on. Well, odds might be good that this is the year, because CARNAL is a great record. There's a lot of great songs on it. It's out. The album is CARNAL. It's out on June the 28th. It's Nothing More. And Daniel, where should we tell people to go to keep up with you guys, tour dates, actually buy something? And I'm going to stress it every time: buy something.
Yeah.
Don't just stream it. Where should we send people?
Really, if you start at the biggest, easiest thing, Google, and just Google Nothing More, it's all the top hits. So yeah, we have a merch store for sure, nothingmore.net or .com. The .net was, the old school website we have, so I think we left it. But Instagram, Facebook, Bands in Town, and we're everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. So yeah, check it out. We'd love to see all you guys on the road. We'll be hitting the road this fall with our first headliner, with the album releasing. We just have, I don't know what day it is today. I think we have 2 weeks till the release. So man, we are pumped. So please check it out. Tell your friends, and we'll see you down the road.
Right on. Well, one more time, the album is CARNAL. It is Nothing More, out on June the 28th. And Daniel, thanks so much for joining me here on Chris Akin Presents.
Thank you, Chris. This was great. I appreciate it.
The biggest and the best heavy metal radio station is CMS Network Now. With over 5,000 heavy metal songs from all the subgenres and eras of metal, it ranges far more than almost any station broadcasting today. You can also listen to great radio shows like Charlie Kendall's Metal Shop, the shows of the CMS Network, and even the full episodes of the Classic Metal Show with the music. Visit CMS Network now at www.cmsradio.net or on the CMS Network app in both the iOS or Android stores. There's no need to listen anywhere else for the best heavy metal ever created.